let's talk about family. We all have it, or have had it, or will have it in the future, or for some of us, will avoid it like the plague. But it's something we all have in common, even if we all have different opinions about the subject. And since it's such a broad subject, where better to start than with the definition? So tell me, how do you define family? You in the yellow.
A family are the members I can talk freely with them.
That's a good definition. All right, you back there.
Family means your blood relatives.
All right. So we've got some good definitions, definitely. We all have different ideas. But according to the Oxford English Dictionary, the Cambridge Dictionary, and the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, three of the most trusted dictionaries in the world, a family is a group of related people living together, traditionally consisting of a mother, a father, and their children. Now I'm here to tell you that you can't judge a word by its definition. You see, language evolves. It changes to better fit the world in which it exists. And sometimes this evolution is not quite as speedy as it needs to be. And I really wish that I'd had someone to tell me this when I was younger. You see, from a very young age, I was haunted by the word family. Everywhere I went, I was reminded of what a family was supposed to be and how my family didn't fit the definition. My parents divorced when I was really young, and because of this, I grew up in what people call a broken home. But when you're 8 years old and being told that your home is broken, there's very little to stop you from thinking it's you that's broken. Even though I didn't feel broken, even though I grew up in the most loving and wonderful home you can even imagine. And yet, I could never quite shake the feeling that something was missing. It was that definition of family always ringing in my ears. A mother, a father, and their kids. A mother, a father, and their kids. It wasn't until I was much older that I finally realized how ridiculous it was to be so obsessed with such a closed-minded definition of such a broad and expansive word. And the thing that helped me come to this realization was growing up and meeting new people. People with all sorts of family situations. Families with 2 moms, or families with no moms. Families with only grandparents. Even families with children adopted from other countries who look nothing like their parents. And it brought me comfort to see that just like my family, these families didn't fit that perfect definition. And yet, no one could even question their familial bond. Now, many people might look at these families critically and think, they're not really a family. They have no biological connection. And that's where many people would be wrong. You see, family is more than just the sharing of DNA. DNA is important, yes, but it's not the factor that makes or breaks a family. And saying that it is like saying that your skin color or your hair color are the only things that make you you. It's a terrible oversimplification. They're a part of you, yes, but just like it's your experiences and your feelings that make you the person that you are today, it is your experiences and feelings that you share with others that make your family. Let me explain. You see, every time you experience something, or your body is introduced to what we call stimuli, your body reacts to it. And it reacts by sending signals. So today I want to discuss one very important signal. It's called oxytocin. Now, oxytocin is a neurotransmitter and a hormone. It is often called the love hormone, as it is an essential part of how we form bonds with others. And it's directly related to feelings of attachment, trust, and care. In some cases, oxytocin can even help us to heal more quickly from psychological or physiological damage. That is how powerful it is. Now, oxytocin is released in response to positive social interactions. So when you receive a hug, when someone shows trust in you, or even when you just spend time with people that you feel comfortable with, these all lead to a surge of oxytocin in your brain. And these surges of oxytocin in our brains help us to first form and then strengthen our relationships with others. Recently, we've also discovered that oxytocin is linked to the regulation of our body's dopamine and serotonin. Now, these neurotransmitters are linked to our body's natural reward system and our emotional well-being, which basically means that these positive social interactions make us feel good and make us crave more of them. And this is because social relationships require constant attention, constant feedback. So the more time you spend with someone and have those positive social interactions, the more time you want to spend with someone, and the more oxytocin is released in your brain when you do. This is how we form our relationships with our friends, our romantic partners, and our family. Remember when I said that language evolves? Well, it's not just language that's evolving, it's us. Every day, we meet new people who come into our lives and we form relationships with them, and it changes us. Those hormones in our brains literally rewire us. They affect how we feel, who we trust, even how we think. Essentially, they create our persona, and this is only possible because of those interactions that we have with the people in our lives. So you see what I mean when I say that DNA is far less important than we have been led to believe. It is our unique personal experiences that make us who we are, and it is those unique personal experiences we share with others that make our family. So now I want to lead you through a little exercise. So I want you to close your eyes, everyone. Close them. All right. Now, I want you to think about the happiest times of your life. The times when you felt the most joyful, the most loved. Who was there with you? Who brought you that joy and made you feel loved? Can you see their faces? All right, now I want you to keep your eyes closed and think about the hardest times in your life. The times where you didn't think you could make it through. Who was there for you? Who brought you that joy and made you feel like you could make it through, even when you didn't believe you could? Can you see their faces? All right, now open your eyes. So for how many of you saw the same person or people in both situations? Anyone? A few of you, yeah. All right, this is good. All right, for how many of you saw someone who's not directly related to you, as in your mother, your father, brother, or sister? Anyone? All right, yeah. Let me tell you who I see. When I close my eyes and I think about these situations, I see my stepfather, a man who didn't come into my life until I was 10 years old, but has been there for me every day since. I see my mom's best friend, a woman who's been there for my entire life, not only helped me get into university, but helped me pay for it too. I see one of my best friends, a friend who traveled over 6,000 miles to come visit me here and is in the audience tonight. These are the people who have been there for me. They're my family. When we're younger, we don't have the option to choose what family we're born into. And our idea of family is as rigid and as strict as that definition we discussed in the beginning. But as we grow older, we have the ability to make choices. We can choose who we spend time with. We can choose who we bond with. Some of us, probably most of us, will go on in this life. We'll form new families and form stronger ties with people around us. And although these people can never replace our original families that we were born into, our family can grow to include them. Our family can evolve. And even though our language can't quite reflect this evolution yet, it's happening. See, family is complex and it constantly changes, but we're changing alongside it. So don't be afraid of this change. Embrace it and the people who come into your lives, because you never know. They might just become a part of your family.